You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality art, interviews, music and hot topics. Hosted by Dini Mussolini and co-hosted by Banditti. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at least 1 hour after each show at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. We welcome all. Enjoy the show.
Yo, it feels so good to be back with you guys once again. One time for my people that are indigos, starseeds, and crystalline. And 2 times for my people who are vegans. And I gotta shout out my vegans. We are up, or averaging better yet, over 34,000 plus listeners and over 888,000 downloads worldwide. We've been at this thing for 3 solid years, people, and I appreciate all you guys who have been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still growing, baby. It is all because of you guys, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you that opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. People who think they're aliens. Hey, it doesn't matter though who you are or what walk of life that you come from. Come on the show and talk to us. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I am passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in and being a part of the audience family. If you'd like information how to call in, ask questions, or speak to the guest, dial this number here, 701-801-9813, or hop in and mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that go live button, and you'll be right here in the chat room or in the mix with all of us. Feel free to send me messages during the chat to ask our guests. Maybe Dini can't come up with any good ones, who knows? But that option is available for you guys. Here's one kicker though. You can't see who's in the chat until somebody says something, okay? There's a little privacy, I guess. I guess. But once you send a message out, everybody will be able to view the message and respond accordingly. All right, so that's how it goes. And as always, all episodes are available for free download at least an hour after the show broadcast. Now, if we have to do some edits, it may take 2 or 3 days, but it will be there. And you can grab it from our server over at Spreaker.com/only1media group over at iTunes, YouTube. There's an app called Podcast and Radio Addict. Download it from the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and you can put us right in your pocket. That's right, 24/7, 365 days, where we will be available for streaming or downloading right there for your ear hole. So yeah, check that out, download it, look up our show, and make sure you support. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way by just visiting our website, which again is onlyonemediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. Well, you guessed it. Tonight's episode is the DH interview, and I am your host, Dini Mussolini. Okay, let's look at the browser here. We have roughly 22,000 on the phone line with us tonight. So what up, beautiful people out there? If you're a guy, you're not beautiful, but you're whatever. But, of course, to the ladies, hi. Yeah, okay. Enough of that. not many announcements except that tomorrow I'll be flying out to Hollywood to do some promo stuff, like some pictures, some videos. Hopefully no makeup will be involved, but they kind of like to do those things because this promo shoot is very important. So we'll be out there. And then we'll be over in San Diego from Saturday till Monday doing other cool things. I really don't know what's on the itinerary. I'm just hopping on the plane tomorrow morning and I'll be there. So if you out there, I would love to meet you and greet you. Oh, Hollywood will be at Salita's 2-hour concert there. My band's performing. To purchase tickets, go over to songkick.com/No Longer the Hero. Like I said, if you're out there, we would love to meet you and greet you. You know how to hit me up on social media for your tickets. We'll be giving away some free ones as well. Cool merch, all that great stuff. Yeah. Okay, done with announcements. But I do want to tell you guys, set all of your troubles aside for the moment. Remind yourself that those troubles do not define who you are. The problems are real, present, persistent maybe, yet no matter how messy, complicated, dangerous, or numerous the problems may be, they do not have to overwhelm you. Difficulties may run deep. Fortunately, you are deeper by orders of magnitude. Living in your moments is great and diverse substance, ability, wisdom, reason, experience, creativity, and so much more. You are dynamic, adaptable, passionate, fueled by love, and driven by purpose. View life from the perspective of all you are. If anything seems overwhelming, it's because you're temporarily forgotten what you are capable of doing. So now, let yourself remember all the good that you do. Now step forward, face the world with justified confidence, and get it done. So that's the little positivity tidbit for you guys. No music advice tonight. We're all tapped out, not just playing. So I don't want to keep, all 22,000 of 22 plus, okay, of you guys and girls waiting any longer. I know you're not here for little old Danny. No, it has to be for DH, right? Of course. So without any further rambling on my end, let's go ahead and dive deep into this interview by first welcoming DH to the show. How are you, man?
Thank you, man. I'm doing well. Appreciate the positive message. That's a great start to things, man. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I am doing great, man. Yes. Got to keep the positivity, floating throughout the hemisphere here. It's a great thing, to view life with so much going on in politics and just social commentary, So.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Shall we dive deep into the interview?
I'm ready.
All right. So how much of the real Dan Hanachek is there in the music of DH right off the top?
Yeah. Oh, man. Honestly, well, first off, I appreciate you pronouncing my last name right. Well done. But,
thank you.
That's me. That's me. I write what I know. I don't think people are going to like someone who's fake or trying to put on a persona. So, you meet me off a track, off the track, I'm the same person. I like to keep it, streamlined, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. So, I don't know if the listeners here are familiar with you. They may be because, man, there's so many online. But just glancing over at your pictures and then reading your story, I said, okay, yes, this guy is definitely being himself. And that's not anything bad. Like in your bio, it says that you're a former ball player, you're an active lawyer, you were part of a frat. So I'm like, okay. So I check out the music video, and you definitely, you have that look, man. You definitely have the look. So I thought that was real cool, man. Very authentic. Not a lot of people, play themselves in music nowadays. It's like either you're a good guy or you're a bad guy. What about the normal people who just love music and have a few things they want to say? It's kind of hard to pull it off being yourself, but you're doing it excellent, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely. So I guess that kind of, isolates the next question that was a part of the first question, which was if DH and Dan are separate, how do you separate them? Is there a division of these personas a necessary thing to be able to make your music? Or better yet, how does it work, you doing music and also being a lawyer in San Diego?
To separate them, it was a process, to be honest. I'm very, compartmentalized, and it's been tough up until recently. It was actually being a lawyer and a practicing attorney held me back at first. I had written, never really recorded, and so, I was concerned, how would I be looked at as a lawyer, who decided to pursue, a rap career. And, through time, the last few years, talking to people, the responses to the music, I've actually taken a complete 180 on that and realized, after a lot of introspection, I realized that I was looking at it completely wrong. And, it's something that I've embraced, and it's actually become, motivation for me. Our society, once they hear, what we do as an occupation, they so often will just put us in a box. And so as soon as people hear that I'm a lawyer or an attorney, they just click on this certain stereotype of what that person should be, how they should act, what they should do. And, we're all inclined to that initial reaction. I may be even guilty of myself sometimes. But, there's no rule book that says I can't do something or have a passion or a talent or, anyone else that is completely, diametrically opposed to what I do on an everyday basis. And so I've recently conditioned myself, I guess, or learned to be able to jump from one thing during the day to, practicing law to, hey, I got to deal with this music thing, and not feel like my music is pulling me away from my business. And so recently I've been like, you know what, it's okay. You can do this. It doesn't have to be during the normal hours that everybody works. As long as you get the work done and you're working for your clients and they're happy and you're getting the results. And the same thing, with music, as long as you're staying true to yourself and putting out there what you're happy with and getting things done. So it was a little bit of a tough transition, but I think I've finally got to a place where I'm really feeling comfortable, in that position as I guess the rapping lawyer. Right.
Okay. And I definitely used that DH as clickbait. That was the caption in the email blasts. Lawyer turned rapper. And I tell you, man, I've had the most click rate by that headline alone. So a lot of people open that email and got a chance to see. Yeah, they got a chance to look at you, man. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, maybe I need to start doing clickbait more often. I mean, hey, you said it, and I used it as a punchline for the email.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's great. Thank you for listening.
So I do have an interesting question. What side of the law are you on exactly?
So my firm, I have a partner. She's up in Sacramento. I'm in San Diego. We do personal injury and real estate. We're on the plaintiff side for personal injury, car accidents, medical malpractice, product liability, things of that nature. And then we handle some real estate stuff on the side. Some of it crosses over. For example, if there's been mold in your house and, sad to say, landlords let rodents run through houses, properties destroyed, people get sick, and so there's a little bit of a crossover. So that's what we handle.
All right, cool deal. So I guess if you're in the Sacramento area or San Diego and you want a rapping lawyer, definitely hit them up. Right, Dan?
Absolutely.
Got to plug in the business in there,
Thank you.
All right, man, definitely. Another interesting question: have any of your clients like showed up to court and said, "Hey, I seen your music video, pretty cool"? Has that happened
You
yet?
know what? Not yet. Not yet. You know, I've represented some friends, you know, from back in the beginning, and they know about it. Obviously, my business partner, she knows about it. She's been extremely supportive, but I have not had anyone that I haven't told show up and be like, "Hey, I know about this. I saw this." But that'll be an interesting moment.
Definitely. All right, let's talk about bringing the music to the live perspective. So what about the live aspect? How often are you getting out there on the stage with these recordings going on? And honestly, man, you barely left yourself time to shower and shave from my calculations. Are you able to get out and tour these songs at all? Or should we expect this coming in the near future?
Yeah, that's something that we're working on right now. We're working on a promotional tour. My team has been doing a fantastic job of getting me out there. I mean, you know, I'm a completely unknown artist. I can't even say relatively unknown. I mean, I'm completely off the map. First song, you know, first pretty much everything. And, you know, we've been getting a lot of people contacting my publicist, which, you know, an extremely positive review for the song only being out 2 weeks. I mean, even in the first week, she said, you know, we were getting some great contacts. So I would say probably the next 1 to 2 months, you know, you'll see me out there performing and promoting, you know, another single come out, you know, and the EP.
Definitely, man. I wouldn't call you unknown because you had the largest impression with email clicks. There's 22,000 plus listeners online now. There's a few in the chat room. So I don't know. They're not here for Deanie. It has to be for you, man.
Wait, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, man. I'm just a dude on the other side of the internet. Yeah, so all credit to you, brother. So when it comes to writing Tiger, Do the Putt-Putt, or any other songs you might write in the future, what would you say that it has to have in order to make the grade for you? Know what I mean? Some sort of signature element to the sound or the writing.
Sure. I would say, you know, above all, it's got to be something that I want to listen to. If, you know, I've recorded songs that I thought were going to be great, and I get it played back, and I'm like, no, I mean, it's garbage. And that's the very first thing. It's got to be something that excites me, not just beyond hearing that, you know, that final mix and master, but, you know, 6 months down the road when I put that on, is it something that I don't fast forward? You know, is it something where I want to hear myself? That'd be the first thing. Beyond that, you know, I want my music to be fun. You know, I'm going to have songs that'll dwell on relationships, you know, sometimes the dark side of life, but mainly the message that I want is I want people to have a good time when they're listening to my music. It's not something that I would call like brooding, you know, or sad. You know, if it's a song that's going to be something we're trying to market radio-wise, I have essentially a two-step process. You know, the first thing, if you're trying to get a song out there on the radio, you gotta have a catchy beat, and you gotta have a catchy hook. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? Because, you know, so many people talk about now, well, that song just has a good hook. Well, that song just has a good beat, and then nobody listens to anything else. I mean, I've been guilty of it. I mean, I'm sure most people have. But the second point is that, and this is more of a personal requirement, I guess this is somewhat what defines me as an artist, is that I hold myself to a high standard in terms of the content and the rhyme scheme. And, you know, when I hear certain songs by certain artists, I'll look it up on Rap Genius or whatever, and look up, you know, what's the meaning behind some of these lyrics. You know, I want it to be something that, you know, people can relate to and dive into. Like, what do these bars mean? Like, how clever are you? Like, I guess an example would be Ludacris. You know, he drops so many lines that you have to actually rewind the track and listen to it again, and you're like, you know, that cracks me up.
Right.
Another one would be Royce 5'9". He's one of my favorite rappers, hands down.
Yes.
You know, he can go from funny and, you know, that just makes you think, to lines that, like, genuinely make you think. And, you know, I really appreciate that, you know, on the philosophical perspective to, you know, jumping kind of back and forth between humor and whatnot. And, you know, granted, I say this with my song about golf, but, you know, if you delve into the lyrics, you know, there's actually more there. You know, we have references to Tiger Woods' life. It's kind of an homage to Tiger. I mean, when you think about golf and what he did for the sport, he completely changed the sport, you know, in our generation. And you can't think about golf now without thinking about Tiger Woods.
Correct.
So, you know, if you're trying to sell records, you got to catch people with the hook and the beat. But, you know, for it to make the grade, I need to have something there that for that select group of people who want to, you know, dig into it and be like, what are you about as an MC? You know, what did you do that's beyond just catching me with this hook and this beat? What, you know, how creative are you? That would have to be what it really makes a grade for me.
Definitely. And that's very interesting, and I'm very intrigued by the fact alone that you actually research, you know, the lyrics and the meaning behind lyrics, where we get a lot of kids these days that don't know anything about, you know, bars or what bars really are or really mean. So yeah, man, much respect for that aspect. So
thank you. And I also just add in one real quick thing. Another thing is, you know, in terms of the research, the music that I grew up on, I love to figure out the samples where songs came from. That has always interested me, and that's always something that excites me. You know, to actually find out the original song and then what the DJ or the producer did, you know, with that song. So I mean, just to add that in. Sorry.
Yeah, man, we would definitely get along. Yeah, that's a bit of my passion too, is to like, oh, I know I heard that sound before. Where did it come from? Now I'll go searching through the records until I find it, and that's always like a little side hobby of mine. But speaking on your artistic abilities and you personal, you know, you mentioned that your lyrics in the song Tiger, you know, there's actually more to it. And Drake once said this before. If you put out the wrong music video, that's what the mainstream or record labels will try to market you as. And from the very first record, hearing you for the first time, I would put you in a category, and this is just, you know, opinion, I would put you in a pop rap category. Now, other tracks that you may do after it, you know, may have, you know, a little deeper, may be a, you know, some other substance. But right off the bat, I mean, what if that's how, you know, the mainstream would view you as a pop rap artist, but you're much more than that? How would you, like, what would your whole approach be to, you know, a scenario like that?
Well, you know, that's fine, because the EP is really commercially driven, and that was done on purpose.
Okay.
You know, that, you know, for those people who think, okay, you know, because, you know, like I said, it's the same thing. There's going to be two kinds of people here, I guess. I mean, probably more than there's going to people who just don't want to listen, period. There's going to be the people that hear the commercial stuff and they're like, I like this on the surface. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the way it sounds. You know, I'm done. But then there's going to be the people who are like, well, who is this? Who is this guy? Is he really just this pop rapper? Is there actually more substance to him? Let's find that out. And so I've done remixes. You know, I can fit some stuff, you know, at the end that it's going to be completely different than, you know, what would be heard on the EP. You know, more underground, more mixtape stuff, definitely lyric intensive. So I'm okay with that. And I kind of, you know, I pretty much expect that. But you know what, if the shots fly, then I'll be ready. So,
all right,
you know,
all right.
I expect some hate. You know, people are going to hate for the sake of hating sometimes. So you can't please everybody.
Right. Okay, so with that said, with the whole mainstream being mumble rap nowadays, and that same pattern that comes from Atlanta, I mean, everybody's rapping that way. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But if you were presented with the opportunity, would you want to try that? or would you rather stay in your own lane?
That's a good question. Now, when you say try that, I think, it would circle back to like what I said earlier. And this is just how I look at my music as a whole. And I actually got into an argument with a buddy of mine a while back, and we split ways because I said, look, you can go the commercial route, you can go certain routes, and you can still not lose who you are as an artist. Right. And as long as you feel that you are putting in who you are at the core as an artist to that, and you are not losing that, then yes, absolutely. As long as, if I'm going to go into a track with somebody, whoever it may be, obviously Atlanta is very hot right now. They have been for a little while. If I'm going to go into a track with somebody like that, I wouldn't want to lose who I am. I write what I know, and I need to make sure that I am in my lane, but my lane links up with what we're trying to do as a project. And if it doesn't, then, we can't work out. But if we can link those two up, then absolutely. I'm all about versatility and, being on different kinds of beats in, different types of genres if we can cross them. So, yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay. I like to hear that. So I'm also curious about whether or not you've really started something big with the release of Tiger. And you released it back on February 16th. Like, as in now that this single has dropped, the music video is already out on YouTube, but is it going to cue the release of a whole bunch more material from you in the upcoming future? And I've heard rumors of an EP. So are you going to ride this wave out for maybe 3 months, or do you have something ready for, let's say, next week, next month, perhaps?
Yeah, so the EP is ready. EP is done. The title is, and that'll be out in, I'm thinking, we're shooting around April. I'm not sure of an exact date yet, but we are looking at April. The title of it is called Risky Business, and it's actually an homage to EPMD, Strictly Business. Love EPMD, and not to mention EPMD, but also the Tom Cruise movie, Risky Business. So there's like a, kind of a combination there on top of, I think, kind of the obvious that I'm a lawyer who is, trying to be a rapper, and that's arguably a fairly risky business move. So we have 6 songs, and I think that each song demonstrates a different side of me. Obviously it's more commercially driven, but when I kept sending people the songs to kind of test it out, they kept saying, well, this song doesn't sound anything like the last one. And I took that as a big compliment, because I'm trying to show versatility from the gate. Like what you were saying is, that first song that you release, people are going to associate you with that first song. And so, the next song is kind of a, something about relationship-wise, but you're still kind of funny and light. We're looking to release that in next month, I think sometime along maybe with the EP. Beyond that, we're looking to eventually get into the studio to do a full studio album.
Oh, wow, nice. Do you have a title for that yet?
The studio album, not yet. I have some ideas. I want to, there's going to be a bunch of songs about my life, about things that I've gone through. And then obviously, the stuff that people want to hear in the club as well. I think I'm very excited, obviously to have the EP released, and, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but that's something that excites me. I have a lot of ideas that have been curating in the back of my head, so to speak, for quite some time now. Yeah.
Okay. And I believe by the hair on your face that you were eligible to vote in the potentially most important election in U.S. history this time around. Did you exercise that right to vote? And listen, man, I won't judge you by any means, but this will set up a line of questioning. So why is it important to you? Well, yeah, let's go back to that. Did you exercise your right to vote?
You get me, man. You get me on a topic. I usually I stay away from politics and religion usually, but I did not vote. I didn't like any of the candidates for various reasons. And I think there's a lot of America that that would say the same. You could argue that's a cop out, but at the same time, why would I put my support behind someone I don't support? I mean, that can cut a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Also, I live in California. I think everybody knows that Hillary was going to win in California.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to sigh on that one. So, like I said, man, I think me and you could very, very well get along. I also don't really voice any opinions on religion or voting or politics, for that fact. Just something I don't do on Facebook, Twitter, anything, Instagram, unless somebody asks me. Then I give my opinion. Because a lot of times people can't handle my opinion.
Yeah.
And I just, choose to stay out of it. Like, when things happen in the social commentary, like, police killings and Oscars or, stuff like that, I do not get involved. I do not say anything. And honestly, I really don't feel any type of way. See, now I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that line. Okay, well, let's get back on you.
The other thing is that you can't convince people when you're talking about those topics. People go in with a set line, and they are going to try to convince you until they're blue in the face. And, just to add that point, I agree with you. I think we're on the same page.
Definitely. So, do you look down on artists that do not voice their opinions, or you probably don't, on politics, but sometimes are viewed as socialites? Like T.I. recently has somewhat become an advocate, and I think he's personally, I think he's a bit two-faced. You rap about one thing, but you're Dr. Martin Luther King on the internet. So sometimes I think it's kind of, expected by the fans to say something, but a lot of times in their case, they do not. What's your opinion on these silent views like myself?
I look down, absolutely not.
Okay.
In terms of, I've always been a T.I. fan. I mean, trap music, urban legend. I mean, I would honestly say T.I. to a certain extent, obviously with content related, is somewhat of an influence. And that's a question that I would actually ask him. An artist like that. How do you justify that? Those two roles. I think that would be a good question for them. But in terms of looking down on people, no. I think if an artist has been around for a while, I think it would be easier for them to take a stand. If it's someone, like myself, or say an artist who hasn't been around for too long, they're fairly new to the game. I think they and probably their team would take, public relations into consideration. If that's your livelihood and you're really stepping out on a limb there, you're taking a gamble. And so, I can't say, if someone doesn't want to get out there and voice their opinion, you kind of wade into the same waters as our athletes' role models, and I think it's really tough, and I think it would be a little bit easier for someone who, maybe has been around for a little while, unless someone who their goal is to, put out that kind of music. But if it's not their goal, I don't think there's anything that requires them to, and I don't think that it's something that we should look down upon them for, staying silent.
Okay. All right. Last question on this subject, and then we're going to jump back into the safe part of the interview. Do you think there is room for politics within the music you'll make over the years, DH? Or is that a place where politics isn't allowed to breach?
Over the years, yes. A lot of stuff that I had written kind of early on, it was somewhat political driven. I am a lawyer, I did study government and economics in college. I mean, a lot, along with a lot of other people, I'm disenchanted with the atmosphere of politics. But I would say that down the road, yes. But in the meantime, what I, really trying to do is just help people kind of turn their brains off and have a good time, and think about those fun times and take them out of that divisive atmosphere that's going on right now.
Okay. And look, I got a question from Sarah. She says that it seems like you're playing it safe, DH, but standing up for your rights in music have cost many people some of their record deals and endorsements. Do you think there will ever be a topic so important to you that you have to voice your opinion, even though it may cause you to lose something? Oh, that's a good question, sir.
That's a great question. And, one of the things that I live by is never say never, because you just don't know. Especially in the business that I'm in, you just don't know what's going to happen, 5, 10 minutes from now, tomorrow, 6 months from now. So I would definitely say, there could be something out there that, that I would be willing to, walk that plank for, no matter what. I am playing it safe right now. I think that's the safest and best move until I can get my foot in the door and, feel comfortable with really taking a stand. But I wouldn't say, I would definitely say there could be something out there that I would do that for.
All right, definitely. Good question, Sarah, and great answer, DH. All right, so we're going to jump back into the safe part of the interview. I'm bound to get some hate email for that line I said a while back, but that's okay. I will read it. So feel free to, send the bombs. That's cool. So let's talk about the EP. What excites you the most about the new music you're making, or made since it's done? At the time I wrote this, I think you were still working on the EP. So what excites you most about the music that's on Risky Business? It sounds as if this is somewhat of a personal journey to get the music out and all. So there must be something inside of you that continues to drive you forward and to want to put this out. So what keeps you going throughout the beginnings of this idea, and what made it all seem possible?
At first it was really proving to myself that I could do it. I started writing when I was, 14. But, could I turn those little punchlines that I would send friends and they would say, oh, that's funny. Could I turn that into me getting into a studio, into a booth, and then put, a cohesive track together and then have people like that whole thing? How would I sound? How would they react? Once I started putting some stuff together and kind of finding myself on the mic, the reaction I got was so intensely positive. I just didn't feel like I had a choice. My dad had passed away when I was 20, and he had so many great ideas. When I was 20, he had so many great ideas that he never followed through on. And so when I got to a certain age, I kind of had one of those moments of, looking back on things, and I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. And, I try to live life with no regrets, but it really made me pivot.
Yeah.
It made me sit down and ask that, look in the mirror and ask yourself hard questions and say, is this something that I'm going to try? And, one of his dreams, one of the things that we had talked about, was, before he passed away, was me play college baseball, me go to law school. He wanted me to get into music. He was a professional musician. I never got to see him play. And so, after accomplishing law school, starting my own practice, I already knew he was looking down positively on that. And, now with the goal of becoming a professional musician, I don't know that he would be the biggest fan of my music. He was a little bit older, from, a couple generations ahead. But, that's something that excites me, is that knowing that his sacrifices, in his life are coming to fruition.
All right, man. Definitely. Um, so, did you find in making the music solo that you were able to handle all the aspects alone without any issue?
I can't say that this was done completely solo.
Oh, yeah?
I'm solo rapping on a track. A friend of mine who, ironically, we went to law school together, but I didn't meet him until after law school because I was friends with his ex-girlfriend. And he was the man behind the scenes. His name is Bo Han. He is the singer in a couple of the hooks on my EP. He made some beats. He recorded me. He did all the engineering. He's nothing short of a consummate professional. It literally couldn't have happened without him. He won the Taiwanese version of American Idol. I apologize, Bo, if I get this wrong, but I want to say maybe 4 years ago. So this man has been out there. He's been singing. First time I saw him perform, he was doing Prince, and he did the man justice. So, I can't say that I did this solo. I really have to give him a lot of credit because it couldn't have been done without him.
Okay, and I think I've seen him lurking in the music video.
Yeah. Yes, he's in there. He's the one dancing at the very end on the putting green.
See? Yeah. Deanie has psychic powers. I could tell who was who.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So this law school is just breeding all kind of musicians out there, huh?
Yeah, UC Davis.
Yeah. Man, cool. So would you possibly expand the Neon... Oh, well, first of all, Neon Pirate Cat Records. Is that something you own? Or are you a part of? Or what is the deal with that?
Yeah, that's Bo and I. That is our label. Just the two of us. We started that, when we kind of got things going. I came up with the name. He liked it, and so we said, "Hey, let's make it a thing." Got our graphic designer to draw up a killer logo. So that's our thing.
Okay, so where did that name come from?
Partly a shirt that I had owned a while back, and I tried to think of, what are some words and things that people really like? Cat videos are extremely popular on the internet. There's a lot of people who love cats.
Yeah.
I myself do. So
I do too. I own
know
one.
there's some cat people out there.
Yeah.
But I also really like neon colors. So I said, you know what? I grew up in the 90s, man. So neon was out and about. So
yes.
I said, let's smash that together. Let's throw a pirate in there, and here we got Neon Pirate Cats and our logo. I still love the logo. We've had it for a few years now, and I still love showing people that thing.
Cool deal. And you have some cool T-shirts too, right? Over at your website.
Yes. We got the logo on there, and a bunch of neon. Got a shirt on there. I'd like to add in. You were talking about people on the video. The real star of the video, and I don't know if you knew this, but my mom is in that video. She is the one that's in the red skirt, the red, white, and blue, checking out the girls, trying to figure out what they're doing, trying to figure out how to do the putt-putt. We flew her out from Pennsylvania to L.A. to be in the video.
Yeah, I kind of knew that. I was stalking your Instagram, and that's where you said it. So, yeah. Deanie, one up you again. Hey, man, I have to do my research, right? So, would you possibly expand the Neon Pirate Cat Records lineup in the future to add additional sounds on a musicianship level? A little bit of diversity. Is there a chance for Deanie Mussolini and his Cat Pepper to join your label? Not just playing. Or any reason, really, I suppose, or do you plan to keep this as a solo project for yourself or preserve that 100% freedom of expression? So what's the whole business plan of Neon Pirate Cat Records?
Yeah, that would be something we would explore down the road. definitely. I'm not going to close any doors on that, especially now. We just don't know how things are going to go. But absolutely, that's something that we would definitely keep open. It wouldn't even be limited to artists on the label. The broader view of what I've always looked at with music was to get a foot in the door to entertainment in general. I've always loved performing in terms of music, but I also like to act and do comedy. So really, that was kind of just a path I decided to try to hopefully kick the door open with, and to get into TV, movies, whatever other avenues we can expand this to. And music just kind of happened to be the one where I felt like I could get the foot in the door first. So it's really kind of a broader plan there.
Okay. So in business, and you're in business, sometimes there are periods of compromise where we have to compromise values or morals just to go forward. And I'm sure you've come across a lot of that in your field of work. But let's talk about music. Is there anything that you won't do or will do over time? Have you set any limitations on DH and what DH stands for?
That's a tough question. I like to think that I'm self-aware, first and foremost. But I'm going to set my aspirations. I set them pretty high. And when I tell people what I want to do, it takes them back. But at the same time, I'm not going to, be Machiavelli and say the ends justify the means. As a lawyer, I'm sure that this is going to get eye rolls from some people, but my partner and I hold ourselves to a very high ethical standard. And I've been practicing law for about 6 years, and that's pretty much just ingrained in my head at this point. And, we're not going to do things behind the scenes that we wouldn't do in front of a judge. And so I think that I'm going to hold myself to a similar standard and say, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to sell my soul just to get to that mountaintop. I'm going to do it in a way that I feel comfortable with. And so when that situation presents itself, it presents itself. One of the best things that my dad left with me was life is the only subject where you get the test before the lesson. And so a lot of times we're not going to know what that test is until, the teacher slaps it down on our desk, so to speak. And so we just have to try to be prepared the best we can for that situation and hopefully react in the best way that we can.
All right, cool, man. That was a great answer as well, because Deanie won't put on a dress for any amount of money. Never. Or as my kid says, never. All right. So, DH, you've been compared to one of the all-time greats like Eminem, in my opinion. And I'm wondering if being compared to such a giant of our hip-hop history, and I will say our, because we do share that, puts more pressure on you somehow. Now, I know Eminem was pop at a time, but he brought some obscenity to it, and I liked it. So, is there any pressure on you now, being compared to Eminem?
At this point, I would say no. It's an extremely, extremely high compliment. I don't know that you could get, honestly, I don't know that you could get higher. When someone tells me I sound like, or, my bars sound like a certain person who's been established and well-respected like M, I mean, you have to take that to heart. I mean, you have to know the people. I honestly feel like you have to know the people who, tread the path, eat the path before you. He's been around, and sold so many records. I think he's the highest selling rap artist of all time. And he can still just pop in and just kill a track. Like, the Big Sean track, I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head. I wish I did. But, he just came out of nowhere and boom, and that's what you strive for. You strive for greatness. That's what you strive for. And so when, I'm this early on, this young in things, that, you know, I have to take that to heart and say, you know what, you know, Dan, you're heading in the right direction. Keep doing what you're doing and keep working hard. You know, don't get complacent.
Definitely. So do you feel like you have to have a high expectation for your own work?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I hold myself to a high standard. Like I said, you know, I want to listen to what I do, you know, and so I'm going to hold myself to that high standard. If I listen to 10 seconds of one of my songs and I turn it off, why in the world would anyone else want to listen to more of it and actually put their hard-earned money into buying it? So, you know, I first and foremost, I got to believe in my own product.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. That's very interesting that you said that. So I'm finna like create a question right on the spot here. Yes. All right. So
Okay.
10 seconds of your own song you cut off, but if you recorded it, you had the time where you did fill the record to record it, right?
Say that again?
Like all right, you listening to 10 seconds of a song that you've recorded. So at some time you had to fill that record, right?
Yeah.
To even put it on wax.
Yeah.
So what if...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say the finished product. So go ahead.
All right. So what if there's a song like that, but somebody else dig it? And they think it's the greatest record of all time, but you can't even listen to 10 seconds of it. Would you still put it out?
You know, that's a good question, and I'm trying to think of the instrumental. I think it was it became Usher and Ludacris, and I could be telling the wrong story here, and I hope that I'm not. But I know that there was an instrumental that a producer had thrown in his trash can, and we're going back probably 10, maybe 15 years here, and he had thrown a beat away, and he was done with it. And somebody came in, and they said, "Man, that's hot. I want that." And next thing you know, it I don't want to say it put him on the map, but I think it became one of, the more well-known songs of the last 10 or 15 years. I guess it would sound a little hypocritical for me to say that, we could go ahead and put that out there. But, if at the end of the day, on top of being an artist, I am also a businessman. And so I'm going to look at things through both lenses. And so if my team is sitting there, and my friends and my family and a lot of people who I feel are close, at one point I did feel that song. I wrote that song, and, and I felt it. So could I come around to that and maybe warm up to it? Yes. I'd probably make a joke out of it, as in I didn't like this song, But yeah, I think that could be something, I could warm up to. Maybe I would have to make some tweaks here and there to make myself more comfortable with it. But yes, I think I could be convinced.
Definitely, and those acting skills will have to come into play. Definitely, because just imagine like going on the road promoting a record that you don't like. That's what Juvenile said when "Back That Ass Up" came out. He said he did not like it at all. He was tired of it. But they performed it like over 1,000, maybe, I don't know. It was one of the biggest hip-hop records of that summer for like the next 5 summers, right? Something like that.
Man, people put that on now, and it still drives people wild.
There's still asses being backed up,
Yep.
To this day. But, all right, I'm going to catch a hate email for that one, too.
I'm getting you in trouble. I'm sorry, man.
No, man, it's all good. I like reading the hate mail. Somebody cares. All right, so what did you learn from this recording session that you'll be able to take with you into the next one?
Yeah, it was a learning experience. It was my first time, kind of going in. We actually recorded the entire EP either in Bo's living room or my bedroom closet. One thing that I learned is have everything you can on point when you go in. There's going to be a lot more at stake the next time. that I go in than me just saying, you know what, I want to put together an EP and let me see what I can do with rap. By the time that I, later in 2017, get into a studio, there's a lot more at stake. And as long as I can have every detail possible done in advance to the best of my ability, I think it'll go a long way. There's going to be a lot of stuff. It's spontaneous. Sometimes I hear a beat and I might have a song written, but I'll hear a beat and just the music flows or the lyrics flow, completely different. So I know that there's going to be that spontaneous aspect, and I don't want to, stop that from happening. But I want to have everything I can to the best of my ability prepared in advance.
That's awesome. So, DH, how many interviews have you done?
I wouldn't say a ton. We're under 10. We're under 10. We just released it on the 16th. So, we're about 2 weeks in. I think it's today, Thursday. Yeah, so we're actually 2 weeks in. So I want to say probably about 5 or 10, somewhere around there.
Man, you are good. You are real good at this.
Man, I hope Ray, I hope you're listening right now in Atlanta. I really hope you are. I told my partner to tune in. I said, hey, if you're awake, man, listen to this interview, because he was like, man, some people just get in front of the mic, or they get on there and they just freeze up. I hope you're the same. I have a good feeling about it.
No, seriously, you're real good, man. You're right on the toes, because I've went off script so many times and just made up questions, skipped over questions and added new questions, and you're real good, man. You got all the info. You're exciting. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you. I have too, honestly. I was looking forward to this, and I really was. Yeah,
man, your PR contacted me earlier. Like they're blowing me up. I was like, oh man, what's this? He's like, your DH is calling in. He's called in since this morning. He's called in like 50 times. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, tell him to read the flyer. So I cleared up. Put it in.
Yeah. The thing she put it in said that it was at 12, and I was actually, kind of funny. I was actually out on the golf course, doing the putt.
Yeah, doing the putt. Wow. That's true.
I actually was out on the course, and she said, no, it's at 8 o'clock tonight. Can you make it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. We're going to make that.
Yeah. No, but that let me know that you were very interested in talking, so that's a win in my book there. And you're doing great, man. The music is great. Your energy is great. So I really appreciate this interview. I really appreciate the fact that I showed up, It would have been bad if I didn't show up. Yeah. We haven't had one of those occasions yet, but you'd be surprised. Things happen. All right, websites, DH. And as generic and boring as that question is, but we are looking for you to jazz it up, after I done gave you a lot of kudos. So jazz up the answer here. It's all up to you. Where can people find you online, and how are you making these social media hotspots all warm and cozy for them when they get there?
Absolutely. So the website is dhnpc.com for Neon Pirate Cats. Instagram, same thing, at dhnpc. Twitter is DH_on-deck. DH Music on YouTube. DH Vivo just went up yesterday.
Awesome.
How I make it warm and ready is that I got a bunch of pics of my pretty face up for the ladies. And fellas, if you don't like my face, that's quite all right. You already know the ladies are going there, so just follow them there.
That was a bad advertisement, man. Think about that for a second. It's like, okay, the ladies will be there, but when we get there, your face is still going to be there. So, and if you're as good looking as you say you are, then how do any of the other guys have any chance? Bad advertisement. Right. Bad. I should get a free T-shirt for calling that out. You other guys going to appreciate me then. Nah, just playing. I'll go purchase one. Support what you're doing, man. Definitely.
I'll send you one with my face on it.
No. you do, and I'll record a video called Tiger Do the Putt Putt, but your shirt with your face on it. No, I was just playing. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I'll definitely order a shirt, man. And all you other people out there, make sure you do the same. Guys, I'm sorry, but there's no pretty ladies there for you. Just Diana. But the music's there, so that's a plus. All right, enough of my rambling and whack jokes. After the after the music break, it'll be time for our usual tradition. It is called the Hot Seat, where our fans absolutely love this segment, and of course, along with the actual interview, especially when somebody has the energy of Dan or DH. But the audience get to hear either some vocals, poem, inspirational speeches, written work, spoken word, freestyle raps, recite lyrics, musical tributes, jokes, stories, and live instruments from our special guests. Well, you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight. And tonight, yes, tonight, we'll find out if DH has what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. So let's cut into some music. We have the infamous DH, Tiger, Do the Putt Putt.
First I take a sip, now it's going down. Hands on your hips, let me show you how. Shoulders straight back, arms out in front. Bend over, stick out your butt. Wiggle side to side, it's all in the hips. Shh, you too talkative. Yeah, you got it, girl. About to pitch a tent, give you 18 in one round. You interested? What? Yeah, keep score, get it in real quick. Par 3 course, hold a drink steady. Tee it up, get that butt ready. Let me see your putt. Do the putt 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 putt. No coach, here's my approach. Everybody knows me. Cheers, toast. Take the shot down. I got long range. When my song plays, I'm on greens 4 days. That's a tournament. Yes, bitch, I'm burning it. Jim Nance, the only snitch concerned with it. Drop balls. Here's my drop zone. Need a blonde bombshell, sweetie Stockholm. Said she like to ski. Out of that club, got a need for speed. When she back up, hold that drink steady. Tee it up. Get that butt ready. Let me see it putt. Do the putt 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 putt. Hands on your hips. Shake your butt, what? Silence. Golf clap. All right, and we are back from our music break. Again, that was DH, Tiger, Do the Putt Putt. So I guess I'll drag out my Coogee plaid shorts and Skittle, I forgot what you call those type of shoes, but I have a pair of those shoes, and I will go do the putt putt. Also, go check out the video. It's a great tutorial on how to do the putt putt. Don't believe me? Go watch it. Clickbait, right? So, okay.
Let's bring back on DH for the hot seat. What do you have for us?
All right, I'm ready. I'm just going straight in, a cappella. It's going to be something, freestyle. It's going to be different than the putt-putt. So here we go. Back at it, the lawyer/rapper. To smash tracks that bury your whack-ass vernacular. Seize control like Attica. Yeah, I'm stacking up a prolific collection of trash talk. I'm backing up, so rack it up from the break straight to the 8 ball. Say grace, y'all. I'm coming to eat off your plates, y'all. Grace me with the game ball. This is the race y'all thought it would be. I'm constantly itching to seize and shake it fast as a nervous system disease with the ninja's release. Mathematical Archimedes, far too many of these alleged lyricists couldn't spit bars to spark a beating. Entitled and far too needy. I'm here to start the bleeding. Blow off the ceiling and the speakers until you're hard of hearing. This is my excellent collection, deception, regression, and math. Etching my path. Better get with the class before you get left in your ass. So get right. We about to ignite a pyromaniac's wet dream. So get hype. Just might even speed through a red light. My insight's on a higher level, specific to the decimal. It was eventual. I had to enter it all with venom to draw down to the molecule. Toxicological found in my follicles. What am I bound to do? Whatever it is, I'm not bound to you. See what my talent will do. I'll sound the crew, plan on some fools. Get the green like it's Mountain Dew. Count it up and then we mount up and cruise down into booze. Catch rays from the sunshine. I got punchlines in my bloodline. It's hunt time. So let's head to the woods. I got a shed full of goods infected with verbs. My tentacles enter your heads and imprint impeccable words. You can break it down infinitesimally. Conceptually, I'm perpetually fresher than sanitizer applied obsessively. Close your eyes. My genesis is your nemesis. The evidence is I'm penning these incredible testaments to be reckoned with. East or west of Exodus. I'm vexing degenerates with my lyrical pestilence, and I'm never asking for penitence. On the road to hell, and I'm closing it down. Somebody tell the devil and new owners in town. Hand over his crown, and this can go peacefully. Unless he wants my second coming like Easter. I'm easily launched into bully pulpit mode as the bullshit grows. I can already feel the force pulling me close. Awakened because I fell in my dreams to Machiavellian themes. Do the ends justify the means? If it were an Orwellian scheme, fuck pathfinding. I'm path making and taking everything in front of me and standing adjacent, never complacent. Live wire rhyme writer with the arrogance of a prize fighter. Watch me rise higher and go right by ya. Anti-sycophantic, rich stanzas that inflict damage, sick as a cancer with advanced grammar that go direct to your vantage points. These trash rappers couldn't hold my dick as Cabana boys. Damn it, your standard ploys are ending this chess game. My right and left brain segue into checkmate. And you're still stuck up on the checkerboard with your metaphors. With the only love you get, the one you see in tennis scores. Don't be deceived by what you see. This isn't smoke and mirrors. You're left with broken spirits. We put your hope on clearance, and that'll be sin. Finito ad infinitum. At a minimum, I close the chapter on the interim.
Wow. Okay, you are definitely a lyrical beast there. Wow.
Yeah, so I threw you off. I threw you off from the putt-putt.
Yes, man. Wow. No, I knew you were already impressive, but man, now I'm about to call you massive, massive DH, because there's no telling.
That, man. I really do. Thank you.
Man, there's no telling what's going to be on this EP, Risky Business. So do me a favor, man. When it comes out, let old Deanie know, and Deanie will buy it. I'm a music addict. Thank you. And after hearing that sample, I need more in my life, okay? So don't judge me. Just supply the record, and nobody has to say anything, okay?
Done.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, I will go grab a T-shirt as the show ends. I'll visit your website, and I encourage everybody else to do the same thing. Make sure I get it extra small so my muscles can poke out and whatnot, and I can, look as good as DH. Or as DH claimed to look. I don't know. I don't judge that. But, yeah, definitely check out the song. Congratulations on the Vivo channel. It's up. That's where I watched it at maybe a week or two ago. Yeah, man, you guys go soak it all up. Make sure you follow him on Instagram or stalk it like I did. Add him on Facebook. He has a fan page as well. Let them know where they can find that at DH.
Yeah, it's facebook.com/ or / whatever it's called. Facebook.com/DHNPC.
All right. Awesome. Sauce. So thank you guys, as always, for checking out our podcast. over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download at least 1 hour after the show ends. If we have to make edits, it may take 2 or 3 days, who knows. But you can grab it over from our server at Spreaker.com/Only1Media Group. Make sure you follow. It's also available on iTunes, YouTube, and our website, again, which is Only1MediaGroup.com. Also, download the app called Podcast and Radio Addict. We won't tell if you don't. And you can download the interviews there, stream it, whatever you want. Bootlegging is encouraged. We don't care as long as you listen, right? Right, because I get paid either way through revenue shares and ads. But I probably shouldn't have said that. Either way, it's there. Like I said, bootleg, I don't care. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired. If you'd like to request music or send something for us to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. And if you called into the show at any time like DH did, you probably heard some elevator music. If you like your song placed in that loop, email me with loop in the subject. Just send me your track and I'll do you that one. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free. We absolutely do not judge, and we do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts. And actually scratch all that, because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so you just got to deal with that fact. I'm just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. And also special thanks to our guest, DH, for joining us tonight. We stepped our game up just so you guys and our guests will have the best experience here on our show. And you never know, Dini may just end up on somebody's song. I do it all, my friends. Okay, well, with this last tidbit, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at just doing that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. Co-hosted by the Vigilantes Banditti. Call in to join the mix. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.only1mediagroup.com.